The following clip was recorded by the dashcam of Pedro, who was out this night to deliver some goods. His colleagues swear to have seen weird things on that particular stretch of road, and it would appear that Pedro himself could catch a glimpse of that. He noticed what appeared to be a pale woman sitting on the right side of the road. She doesn't look human at all, and I find that her fingers in particular are looking extremely creepy. Pedro saw this with his own eyes at the time and decided against stopping to see who this exactly was. But it is said that this might have been something otherworldly that was greeting this oncoming truck. Spooky. Hey guys, as some of you know, I'm diving into the depths of hell on June 1st to fight hordes of demons and to keep humanity safe in Diablo 4. Make sure you follow me on Twitch and my account Frostlinger to be part of my journey to hell starting June 1st. I appreciate your support and you find all the links in the video's description. I'll see you in hell. The following video was shared by Sherman O'Neill, who is the owner of a local trucking business in Oklahoma. He states that a driver of his had captured something rather unsettling one night while being on the roads to deliver a freight. He was so freaked out about this incident that the driver contacted Sherman immediately. Apparently, the driver saw something on the road, and after realizing this, he pulled over to check if anybody got hurt, but there was no trace of anybody. It looks like a child in some form of old clothing, maybe a dress perhaps. Of course, it's almost impossible for a single child to be out there alone at night, walking the highway in pitch darkness. Which is why they believe this could actually be a ghost. What do you think? I actually don't have another explanation for it. The following is a recording that was shared by the profile of Vickers Hill Armac. A person in a car noticed that a strange person in some very antique looking clothing was walking on the left side of the street. The channel simply wrote, "Is this a ghost on Vickers Hill Armac?" This was the moment a shadowy figure in what appeared to be Georgian attire was spotted walking across the road before disappearing into the grounds of St. Patrick's Church of Ireland Cathedral. This material was even used on a news show on BBC Two. Some people, however, are not sure at what we are looking at here. Was it a ghost? Yes, say some. Others are sure that this was just a dressed-up person who was attending a local conference perhaps. And they also state that there is an entrance on the right side that we cannot see from this angle, which would explain why this person just disappears into the wall. What do you think? A ghostly figure? Or just an unfortunate recording? This one is a strange video that was captured one night while two friends were traveling through a town. They were talking about an urban legend at the time of this video that states that a woman in white can be seen ever so often walking these exact streets and scaring people in the area for whatever reason. Of course, they didn't expect to see anything that night, but it would seem that they captured something at the time without realizing. After going over the recording, they saw this in the left mirror. Some say that this was the spirit that is said to roam these streets at night. Could this be? Whatever it is, looks actually pretty sinister in my opinion. And if it is not just video editing, maybe we are looking at a malevolent spirit here indeed. Next we are gonna check out a video which was captured by a young man on a nightly trip on his motorcycle. The story goes that he was on his way home that night and that he had his GoPro mounted to his helmet for security reasons. After passing by another lane, he states that he heard some weird weeping noises, turned his head and recorded the following. The comments range from this being a strange spirit in a nightgown to it just being a reflection from somewhere or even editing. Could this be a kuntilanak? That's at least what the driver believes. Hard to say. The man in the following video was traveling on a narrow road in the middle of nowhere one night. Apparently this area is pretty notorious for scary incidents that have been reported over the last 100 years. The most common story, however, is the one about the lady in red, who can be seen ever so often, standing on the side of the road and looking at passing vehicles. It is said that she lost her life in this very area a long time ago, but that her spirit is still haunting these grounds. The man was pretty uneasy after noticing a figure in what appears to be a red dress. He states that all he wanted is to get home as soon as possible after noticing this thing on the side of the road. And I suppose it will remain a mystery if that was actually the lady in red or just a lost person. The following video is another one that I would categorize under the extremely weird encounter section. It was captured by two urban explorers who were investigating an abandoned building in which some mysterious happenings have been going on over the past years. What exactly is unknown, however. The investigation is cut relatively short though, when, based on their reports, they came across a scary looking person standing in an empty room and staring at them. They made it back to their car and got out of there as fast as they could. And then the following was captured. A scary video indeed. A violent stranger must have followed the two men back to their car and then was seemingly throwing a very heavy object at them as they make their escape. The question is, what was this person doing there? Was it maybe a homeless person that felt disturbed? This is one of the theories that most people have. Apparently the two men never returned to this location, and who can blame them really? Pretty dangerous encounter. I'm glad nobody got hurt. The following recording was captured by traffic camera in Wessex, Britain, on which a pretty unusual creature was supposedly captured. It's not uncommon for the authorities to capture some wildlife ever so often. Today's video, though, was a bit different. can see a busy road, and then a weird creature appearing from the left side out of the darkness and scampering over all 4 lanes of the highway within a few seconds. What's weird about this incident is the creature's legs that are bending inwards, making many believe that we are dealing with a rather inexplicable creature here. Some say that it even looks a little bit humanoid, causing some to believe that we are dealing with another shapeshifter here. Could this be? It's really hard to say what's going on for sure, but it makes one wonder. The next clip was recorded by a driver one night who was on his way home and was taking a local highway. He didn't notice anything out of the ordinary up until this point, but when the incident occurred, he saw a dark flickering object just standing in the middle of the road. An object that had human-like features based on his reports, and it becomes quite apparent that even the other drivers saw it too. It is not that easy to make out, but you can actually see the outlines of a shadow person that just appears on the road, and the cars are doing their best to avoid impact, making them swivel quite a bit, especially the car on the left. What's weird is that the cars in front don't seem to react all that much. Maybe that's because this thing appears right after the cars in the front have passed it. The driver says that he did not see anything up until he was about to hit this thing, making him believe that it could have been an actual spirit that manifested. Could this be so? How else could anybody end up on the middle of the road like that? Strange. This was captured by a worker during a nightly shift. He was just moving some heavy machinery to a new construction site. He was by himself at the time and didn't see anything strange, but based on his reports, he heard a weird scream from the neighboring fields, which caused him to pull up the recording after his shift had ended, and he saw something quite unique. Some of his co-workers think that he might have captured a floating torso of a spirit, or maybe another form of creature. He was pretty baffled and had no explanation of what we are seeing here, especially since it just shows up for a few moments before it vanishes. Super weird. What do you think could have been captured here? How creepy. The following video was captured by a young driver who was on the way home. It was early in the evening and nothing seemed out of place at the time. He takes this road a lot and, based on his reports, there had never been any strange incidents taking place. Eventually he started speeding, and in his opinion, a guardian angel might have stepped in at this point in time. We see a person appearing in the middle of the road. Pretty scary, of course. The man notices him too late and tries to brake, and based on his reports, the car drove straight through him though, and no damage was done to the car, making him believe that this had to be a ghost. There was no trace of this person after the car came to a stop, and he stepped out to see if the mysterious person was okay. I mean, it's a bit weird how the car darkens up though, as if an impact actually had occurred. Pretty strange, isn't it? What do you think unfolded here exactly? This video was featured by Misterio Canal and it was uploaded by an anonymous person from Mexico. They state that they were riding along an old mountain road one night in the Tuxtlas region in southern Mexico, and this was when they noticed a burning witch. She appeared to them several times apparently, but they were only able to capture her this one time. It is quite hard to make out any details, but sure enough, there is a burning object appearing on the road, and then just vanishing into thin air. Why the man believed this to be a witch is unknown, and I wonder if there might be another explanation for this. What else could this be in your opinion? It's really interesting, I find. The next video is just as strange as the one before. It was captured by a man who was riding his motorbike at night at the outskirts of town. In this region, it's not surprising to hear about many different ghost stories and accounts that the villagers share ever so often. Based on the rider's reports, he had merely been driving around at the time when he saw a strange person at the side of the road, dressed in what appeared to be some kind of white clothing. And then he saw the following occur with his own eyes. The man turned around after seeing this person moving up into the air, and they were just hovering there. Obviously, no ordinary person can do such a thing. So, do we have to believe that he came face to face with a real spirit here? The man was so freaked out that he avoided driving this road at night for a while. And who can blame him? The following video was shared by two young men from Aguascalientes, Mexico, who were on their way back home after a gathering around 2:30 a.m. They drove past a supposedly haunted stretch of land, on which ironically a kindergarten was built a few years ago. What really caught their attention was a set of swings, on which a young girl could be seen, which is quite baffling, since this part of town wasn't known to be the safest, and a girl alone that late at night, pretty strange.
Oigan, ahí está el columpio. Escuchen el columpio. Escúchenlo. Ya te tocó verla. No, si le da madre ese güey. Vean, vean. No seas mamón, no, puerco. Le da madres, güey. No se anda como. ¡No, güey!
What makes all of that even stranger is that another video surfaced, which was recorded by a young man with the name Alfonso Lopez, unrelated to the first video we saw. He as well heard about the creepy ghost story of a girl that seemed to be haunting the very grounds of this area. He was also on his way home that night.
Vamos a ver si es cierto. Aquí a la derecha.
Aquí a la derecha, güey. No mames, el pinche columpio, güey. Párate, güey, no mames, mira. Güey, y son los dos, güey. No mames, güey.
¿Neta?
¿Me acerco, güey?
Sí.
Come to find out, neighbors in the area were telling stories about an unfortunate accident that had occurred at the scene, in which a young girl named Mariana was involved in a fatal accident after leaving the kindergarten one day.
Perdió el foco, güey. Perdió el foco esta madre, güey. Güey, perdió el foco esta madre, güey.
Ever since, several people speak of that young girl that can be seen close to the swing set at night. And maybe these drivers have captured proof that this tale might actually be true. This video was recorded by another nightly driver who states that he was just traveling through a rural area close to his hometown. He was on his way home after a late shift and had never seen or captured anything out of the ordinary on his nightly trips. His dashcam, however, captured quite the creepy encounter tonight. His camera made this incident look like a floating sheet that was spooking him out here, but based on his reports, he saw it as a grayish semi-transparent object that was floating in the middle of the road and trying to grab the car, as weird as this sounds. When looking into the mirror, he couldn't see anything though, and brushed it off at first, as he maybe just having imagined it. But after reviewing the dashcam recording, he was actually quite puzzled. Who knows what exactly this sheet thing was?